We mentioned the other day that when we finished at Liverpool University with our students, we left them with the top 22 tips if they really wanted to succeed in sales. Why 22? Because life's never as easy as a top 10 when it comes to selling. So we gave 2 tips the other day, and I want to move on to tip number 3, which is very simply, wear the right hat. So one of the most common things I get approached about is how people don't feel confident. They don't feel confident to pick up a phone. They don't feel confident at networking events to go and interrupt a group of people or introduce themselves. And it's quite a common held misconception that there is such a thing as an unconfident person. How often do you hear maybe some people say this? I'm not a confident person. I have no self-confidence. Where this is actually not true. There is no such thing as an unconfident person. There is merely situations that all of us are more or less confident in. So one of the trainings that we do with everybody is to get everybody to make a list, and you can do this as you're watching this, of every hat that you wear. And what I mean by that very simply is, how many identities do you have? How many people are you? As an example, right now, I'm a sales trainer doing a piece to video. When I go home, I will be partner, dog owner. When I go to a meeting later on, I will be sales professional. When I go out at lunchtime today with my amazing daughter, I'll be dad. Sometimes I'll be friend, coach, mentor, pub bloke, golfer, cousin, brother, son. We all have loads of different hats that we wear. So make a list of how many hats have you got and in what situations. And then have a look at that list. There could be 10, 15, 20, 30 different hats that you have, different identities that you have. Very simply circle which one are you the most confident in and which one are you the least confident in. Now there's a reason for this. When people pick up a phone, they're trying to fill their sales funnel, and I've been having a chat on LinkedIn this week about how people feel they're just not cut out for it, they just don't want to do it. What people tend to do is when they sit there and they look at the phone and they look at the data and they start to get nervous, they put salesperson hat on. I understand this, you're at a sales job, you've been told you have a certain role, you take on that role and you wear your salesperson hat. Maybe not this one. What happens is you adopt all the body language, all the thought patterns, all the speech patterns of what you perceive a salesperson to be. And we all know that nobody likes salespeople. So when you make that call, you're not going in as a confident version of you, you're going in as salesperson you. The prospect can smell, feel and hear that down the phone. They object to you. That reaffirms your position on the phone doesn't work, or I've got no confidence at doing this. And we create a really vicious circle. So what can we do? Well, we need to change our hat. Why approach sales calls, sales meetings, networking events as salesperson? Why not pick the most confident version of you? Pick the version of you that you would have no qualm in helping people in. I remember one of the first sales meetings I ever had as my own company, and I was all excited to arrive there. They'd asked me to come in because they had some issues. And when I went to the reception desk and announced I'd arrived, the receptionist scowled and went, "Oh, you're not meeting him, are you?" And gave a terrible character reference about this chief exec that I was going to talk with. Immediately, my confidence dropped. I walked in as MD of a new company, all really confident, and all of a sudden I was the MD of a small company talking to a big, powerful chief exec. And as I sat in the waiting room, I realised, where's my confidence gone? Why is my state completely changed? And I realised I'd changed my hat. So what I had to do is think, what is my most confident hat? Who would I have no qualms in talking to and helping and reassuring? And very quickly I realised I need to put dad hat on. I would break through walls to help my children as anybody who's a parent would. So I changed my hat. I thought, how would I approach this if it was my son or daughter? I adopted the correct body language, the correct posture, the correct mindset, the correct thoughts going through my head. These guys had asked me to come in. They'd approached me because they had a problem. So when I approached that meeting, after he kept me waiting a long time, as chief execs do, I approached it with my dad hat on. So if you change your hat, Here's a lovely one. If you change your hat, change your identity, change who you're going into a sales call as, you can change the whole result. You will definitely change how confident you feel. So next time you're going to make a prospecting call, you're worried about picking that phone up, change who you are. You don't need to be salesperson. Be dad or brother or mum or cousin or football coach or whatever the most confident version of you is. Because remember, there is no such thing as an unconfident person, merely situations that we are more or less confident in. So adopt the right hat, change your state to that relevant hat, and trust me, you'll get an amazing result. Cheers.